Hi, you're listening to The Comedian's Tea Party with Deaves. Fair warning, this podcast may contain adult content. It may not. I don't know. I never really have a plan. So let's listen on and find out. Hello and welcome to episode 41 of The Comedian's Tea Party with Deaves. And this week my guest is Esther Manito. It's a very, very fun chat indeed. We had a really good time. It's the first time we've spoken actually. We're both from Essex. Both started gigging at roughly the same time, but just never crossed paths. Because whilst it might be a small world, it's funny comedy because sometimes there'll be someone from the other end of the country and I'll gig with them, 3 times in a month. And then sometimes there's someone who lives around the corner to me and I won't gig with them for 2 years. It's funny how it works out, but that is the very nature of comedy itself. So the start might sound a little shaky. I left it in because it amused me, the way it all panned out. I've edited it a bit. Esther had an issue with a giant fly, which I couldn't hear at first, and then it did come across the screen. You can't really hear it, but at 45 seconds from the start of the actual podcast, if you want to time it, because I won't know the actual time code until it's edited, and by that point it'll be too late to update you. But if you listen really, really carefully, 45 seconds into the actual conversation, you can hear the fly past. And for the sake of sort of filling some time, I put a little bit of bird song in there, just in case you think some birds also got into the house. That would be a wildlife issue. We have some really fun conversations. We talk about Esther's hamster, briefly talk about my hamster, and that leads on to a conversation about Richard Gere. Turns out that was a gerbil, not a hamster, and almost definitely didn't happen. Basically, that conversation led to me Googling the sentence, did Richard Gere really put a hamster up his bum? He did not. And we also discussed whether or not that really happened. It doesn't really happen. Long story short, I Googled gerbling as well, which is what that's called. Apparently, there's also a rumour that they're covered in psychoactive drugs to give an extra sort of boost. Whether or not that has happened ever, no one really knows. Apparently there was a sex expert who was quoted on Wikipedia saying that he's never even heard a second-hand or even third-hand account of that actually happening. So chances are it is just an urban legend. Nobody really puts rodents up their bum. I really hope that's true. That they don't. God. Good grief. We talk about how false widow spiders are the COVID of the arachnid world, and brings about an idea for scientists to look into. We may have solved the whole situation that we're looking at. So listen to that. That's interesting. I also learned about some other new tea. That's quite a common occurrence in the last few podcasts, is I'm being taught about tea that I've never heard of. So it's good. I like it. And watch out for Mesther Anito, because that wiley minx can cause some trouble, which that's very fun and really concludes at the very end. So listen on. It's a very fun episode. We had a really fun, silly time. I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you at the end. Hello.
Hello, you all right?
Yes, I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Sorry, I have the world's biggest fly in here. So
I can't hear it, if that helps.
Okay. Oh my God, it's so loud. You must be able to hear it. It's the world's biggest fly.
I'll be honest. Yeah, actually, I can hear it. I thought that was my cat. My cat's currently playing with my blinds.
Oh,
actually, I might have to address that. 1 second.
Okay. Hang on, I'm going to try and get this fly out.
Oh dear. Ow.
It's mental. It's so big as well.
Now for the listeners, I'm going to leave this in. I've just come back to see Esther trying to catch the fly. It's incredible scenes.
Sorry.
No worries.
I managed to hit it, but I've not managed to get it out. But anyway.
In hitting it, did it damage what you were hitting it with? Was it that big?
No. Yeah, it was huge. I've got a massive dent in my notebook now.
Just put a hole straight through the middle. I've just realised I've left my notebook over there. Sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
I'm good. This is, to be honest, there's not really much written in here.
Okay.
But it's like my safety blanket. Yeah, it's got some questions in there, so we'll get to those later.
Okay.
Not specific questions; they are vague and barely related to tea. But we'll see how it goes.
I'm drinking the tea though.
Are you? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a turmeric tea.
Ah, yeah, that's a nice one. Now, is that the one that's got star anise in it?
Yes.
Yeah,
it does.
Now, how would you describe the flavour of that? Because I think this is the third time that has been drunk on this podcast. And have you had it before?
Star anise?
That tea specifically.
No, I haven't had this tea specifically.
Okay.
How would I describe it? It's quite tangy.
Yeah.
But also quite musty.
Yeah.
Which is not a sellable thing, is it?
It doesn't sound sellable, but it's quite nice.
No. It is like you're drinking old dust.
So you're not a fan?
I'm not a big fan of... I'll drink a herbal tea to cut down the old caffeine.
Yeah.
But I don't often drink it, no. I like a verbena tea before bed.
What is that? I've never heard of that.
Verbena. Verbena's like a dried leaf, and you can, and it basically just makes you feel really sleepy. It's just a relaxant, but you buy it like a dried leaf, and you've got to brew it.
Oh, okay.
And,
so like loose leaf.
Like a loose leaf tea. But if you buy it online, it often gets confiscated because it does look like loads of drugs.
Yeah, I sent an envelope full of tea because I sent you tea. Yeah, obviously, yeah, you're drinking that.
Yeah, you did.
I sent a similar looking envelope of tea to Yuriko Katani, but so the one I sent you was you print it off online and pay for it, and then it puts like your address and stuff on it, so they know the return address, so they know it's coming from. So I think it makes it look sort of more legitimate. But the one that I sent to Yuriko was I hand wrote her address and then just stuck a first class stamp on the front, so there was nothing tying it back to me, and it got opened and searched through.
Oh.
Yeah. It just looked like a sort of a little
the
bag
drug
of drugs.
dealer,
Yeah.
the postal drug dealing service.
Yeah, is that a thing? I imagine
Strikes again. Must be.
I should think so. If you're a postal drug dealer, get in touch. And I'm not interested, but maybe I'll give you
Just
a plug.
working from home.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing.
If you want to sponsor the podcast, let me know. I'll give you a plug. So, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. You know, I'm looking forward to getting back to gigging.
Yeah. You've got some booked in?
I do. I'm quite booked up now, so it's going to be a full-on summer.
Nice, that's good. Yeah, I'm not as booked. I've got some booked, some not enough.
That's good. Yeah,
there's more coming in, so it's all good. I'll have some to do, but
it will increase.
Yeah. So, how long have you been going? Because I feel like you started slightly after me, but
I started in 2016.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was 2014, so yeah.
Okay.
I just sort of saw your name coming about after, like in the sort of the wave after my year of school, as it were.
Right. Yeah, it is weird. It is like school years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's often the description. Oh, sorry, I've just remembered what I was asking before. The flavour of that tea, because. Yes. I had that on the first episode with Cole Donnelly, and we decided that it tasted like a Christmas ramen. If you mix the flavours of ramen and Christmas.
Yeah, I get that. But ramen's got quite a musty...
It has, yeah.
I mean, I like ramen, but that kind of brothy, musty...
Yeah.
It is. It's very kind of... And I think because it's obviously quite green.
Yeah. I like ramen, and I like Christmas. So...
there you go.
Mix the two together.
That's a perfect combination.
I thought it was all right. Not the best one I've had, but it was good. It was nice. I'd have it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, what were we? Oh, yeah, school years. So, were you full-time before the lockdown?
I went full-time, yes, in the January, and then we went into lockdown on the March.
Yeah, that is very much sort of our era of comedians, if you will.
Yeah.
A lot of them went full-time just before lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's killer. I had. Do you know Amy Matthews? Sorry, I just said that in a very Essex. Matthews. It's got T.
Matthews.
Yeah.
I know of her.
Yeah.
I don't think I've met her.
No,
but I know of her.
She's because you're from Essex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereabouts are you?
I'm in Woodford, which is East London. Well, it's Essex. I think it's Essex. But we've got a tube station.
Those, yeah. Is it inside the M25?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're basically you go a bit further out and you're in Epping.
Yeah. I think it's one of those that it could be either. It's like Romford, It's sort of like some people claim
Well, it's further in than Romford.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, because a lot of people say that if it's sort of inside the M25, then it's technically London, but I don't think that's necessary. But then there's parts of like Croydon and that you would think were London, but that's Surrey. So.
Well, I walk down the road and then I'm back to a London postcode. So my kids go to school down the road, which is a London postcode, but we're in like an Essex postcode.
Right.
So I think a lot of people think it. I mean, I think of it as London.
Yeah.
I've never thought, because I've always, like, I live in London, but yeah.
Yeah, it is really.
Quite shitty if you say it's London. They're like, it's Essex.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can you hear my cat in the background, by the way? She's just mewing at the door.
Not massively, no.
Cool. Okay, that's good. We've not met before, I don't believe.
No, we haven't. No.
But I've seen your name around loads, and obviously we're both well, I'm certainly more Essex than you, because I'm
Whereabouts are you?
Southend, more or less, like Shrewsbury.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So
you gig a lot down there?
I do. Yeah. There's a few gigs around, so I just sort of jump up, like, because I'm good friends. Do you know Ross McGrain?
Yes.
Yeah, he lives like a 5-minute walk from me, so I'm good friends with him, and he just puts me on whenever I want, which is nice.
Okay. Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, very convenient.
Nice little hookup to have.
Yeah. But yeah, I do. I travel quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so what I was saying was basically I'm going to tie up like 3 different stories at 3 different times. So Amy Matthews, she is from Leigh-on-Sea down the road.
Right.
But then she moved to Edinburgh for uni and started comedy up there. And now she just lives up there with her partner. And
yeah, I think I've met her boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Stuart.
Yeah, we've gigged together.
Yeah.
Is it McPherson?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I've not met him.
He's really sweet.
Yeah, he seems nice.
Really nice guy.
Yeah, but she, I met her at the stand, and she just turned around and said, "Where are you from? I know your accent." I was like, "Oh yeah, Southend." She's like, "Yeah, me too."
It's it's very. You can't really. Well, I mean, it's a very distinct accent.
It is, yeah. I mean, she could tell that I was literally from the area, so. Because it changes through Essex as well. Like, I'd say you've probably got more of a London sort of tinge, but then when you go further north Essex, like Colchester, that's where my wife's from, and like her accent changes, and it's odd, but
and you get the kind of like that kind of Harlow way as well, where they don't really move their tongue at all. It's just like So it just becomes like all vowels.
Yeah. Hello, how you doing?
I know. Like that, it's actually really hard to understand.
Yeah, but so Amy went full time, literally, I think in like February or March or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got delivery.
Okay, no worries.
Poor timing. Oh, sorry about that.
It's all happening around your house.
It's all go. Yeah, very exciting indeed. Yeah. So what have you been up to during lockdown? Obviously, if you went full time in January.
And I was really worried about it. I was like, oh my God, like I've literally quit my job as a teacher to become a full-time comedian to now not having any comedy work. And now I have to full-time homeschool my kids. Like, I mean, ironic is not the fucking word. I was livid. But I was very, very fortunate that I got corporate bookings for online comedy gigs.
Nice,
and I managed to keep those going over lockdown, and those there was enough of a momentum that actually generated enough of an income.
Oh, that's great.
So that's what kept me going financially over lockdown.
Yeah.
But it was mental that the entire arts industry just was like, you've got no money.
Yeah. Because were you self-employed before?
No, so I was a part-time teacher. I did I started comedy when I was on maternity leave, and then I went back to teaching part-time. So I would gig, but obviously I was a new comedian, so I was doing, open mic nights and bringer nights and all the rest of it, and then teaching part-time. And then it got to a point in January I was earning enough from comedy that I could quit teaching altogether, so that's what I did. And then lockdown happened, and that was all scuppered. But luckily I was able to transfer everything online, so in a way I feel like lockdown was probably my most successful year.
That is ironic, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I had. Do you know Vix Layton?
Yes.
Yeah, she was on the last episode, and she was saying that she's probably gained sort of more recognition for what she's been doing during lockdown because of the situation she's been in. She's been able to get guests on her podcast that she wouldn't otherwise have been able to get.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, people were it was a good time to start doing stuff online and generate a bit of a I mean, for me, it was just corporate where I was just lucky because now suddenly all these big companies that would normally pay comedians to come in and do, award ceremonies and Christmas parties and and International Women's Day and all the rest of it were like, well, now we need to book online. And because I was doing all right with these online gigs, they would recommend me to other companies and stuff. And then it worked out. It worked out all right.
Yeah. That's very fortunate. I mean, that was the other thing that Vic said was that because she sort of had a decent setup, because I already had everything that I needed for recording anyway, because I'd started this in 2018, 2019, doesn't matter. So like I already had everything that I needed to record anyway. So like I was sort of quite fortunate that I could pick up gigs, but I foolishly thought, I don't need to do online gigs. They're not for me. And obviously as they've developed, I've started getting some, and now we're going back to sort of normal gigs. So
yeah,
it's all right.
So it kind of doesn't matter. Yeah, but I mean, we've all got things that we're not massively comfortable with that other people are totally okay with. I mean, it's down to your style, and I can, some comedians can really translate well online, and others, they need more of a. But then I think even, you do stuff online, and then people see you on stage, and they're like, oh, the difference between you online and on stage is a lot, and it's because your energy shifts different, the way you communicate is different. It's not easily translatable between the two.
No, not at all. No, it's odd. It's very interesting. Like I've kept up sort of quite well with gigging, and in the sort of any gaps that we had, I packed in a few sort of live gigs here and there. So I may or may not have already done some live gigs. So well, just the one, but obviously we shouldn't have. But it didn't happen. It's fine. It definitely didn't happen.
But it's okay to do live gigs, isn't it? As long as you have it's outside and
as long as it's driving. That's the only which and it was sure it wasn't. It's
I don't know, so I haven't broken the law. It's only although it's not law, is it? Is it law?
I think it is
guidelines. I don't think it is law.
Guidelines. I mean, this is the very issue.
This is how easy it is to just control people. We just get the guardian to go, this is what you should do, and everyone's just like, that's what we should do.
Yeah.
And if we break that, then we're really bad people.
Yeah. But
because I was thinking about this, I was like, is it? I don't know. To be honest with you, don't take this as me making some kind of massive political statement, because I don't actually know.
Yeah.
But I was listening to something about the difference between something being a law and something being a guideline that you can't actually take legal action against.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that obviously they had taken legal action against, like, for instance, those two women that went for a walk last year together and they got fined.
Bastards.
Yeah, because they were like 7 miles away from their house, and they said, "Oh, that's unnecessary travel." And we're like,
"Oh, that's insane."
Yeah. It was mental, and then like the following, like a few days later, Boris Johnson went for a bike ride like 60 miles from his house, and everyone's like,
"Yeah,
okay."
I mean, there's huge hypocrisy.
Yeah,
huge hypocrisy, and you don't know the background story of those two women as well.
That's
I think that's what drove me a little bit mental, because I've very much been stuck between two camps throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
of I don't know, like families become really divided about it, and me and my other half are in a situation where one side of the family think that everyone should just live in wardrobes and never leave and just breathe through a straw.
Yeah,
and the other side of the family are like, no, this is all hijinks. And then you're just like in the middle going, well, not really trying to cause any problems, and we're trying to be a little bit respectful, and we're trying to be a little bit conscious and all the rest of it, but also don't really want to go onto the really judgy pious side of like, I don't, if two people are meeting up, I don't know the background.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what the situation is. That could be somebody who's like, I really need to get out of my house and talk to someone before I have a massive nervous breakdown. Like, I'm not going to sit there and judge what other people do. You can only be in control of what you do. And so I kind of had to take that stance throughout of like, you do what you feel's right. I'm just going to really try hard not to judge anyone and just get on with my own shit.
Yeah.
But I do judge the judges.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one joy that we can take. If we're not judging individuals, then we can at least judge the
Josh Jones told me, he made me laugh out loud. He said he was sat with his mate in the park during, I think it was during the first lockdown, where people were getting really angry at people sitting in the park together. It was before the ban of meeting in groups outside. They were like, look, you can't have people around your house. So lots of people then took to the park.
Yeah.
And him and his mate, and he said his mate was going for a bit of a time of it, so they went and sat in the park to have a chat and stuff. And he said this elderly lady came up to them and went, "You shouldn't be here." And he said his mate was so it was obviously having this impassioned conversation with Josh, and just because he was so angry, he just turned around and went, "You shouldn't be here." He was like, I've never wanted to just die laughing so much. Just this really like young Essex lad just having this set too with this elderly woman when she's like, "You shouldn't be here." "No, you shouldn't be here."
Yeah.
And it just becomes all a bit kind of ridiculous.
That's funny, because I certainly noticed there's a couple of parks sort of near where I live, and I'd go for sort of walks around there, and there'd be just like groups of old people all about sort of 2 feet away from each other, like chatting away, all screaming at each other because they can't hear each other. And
you're like, surely the spit is screaming that loud.
And,
my God, you're literally hurling the particles.
Yeah, exactly.
You're hurling the COVID at your friends.
But a lot of the times they'd be blocking up the paths, and we'd sort of walk along, and I was running quite a lot of the time, and they'd be blocking up the path, and they'd turn around and be like, "Oh, it shouldn't be running out here," and I'm just like, "You're blocking up the
people
path.
Don't. Yeah,
we're literally doing this to try and save you."
That's where it gets a bit weird, because it's like I went running this morning, and there was a lady, and I'm a bit of because I had COVID in January, and it has left me really panty.
Yeah, that
sounds really creepy, and I didn't mean that. And it's left me. Now I just don't wear pants. No, it's
short
not.
Short breath.
What's your situation with long COVID? I just can't literally cannot cover up my clunge. It's a nightmare. I'm just.
Oh, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. God, Flappy McGee, that's me. But no, it's like I'll go out running, but it's left me really kind of like, I noticed it like before COVID, I was able to run and hold a conversation. Now I feel like my body is fine, is functioning, but I'm battling against my chest, and I'm getting to the point where I'm getting really annoyed. I'm like, just freaking breathe.
Yeah.
So as a result, I am jogging around parks, just like so. Women are leaping out of their way because they think what's approaching behind them is a sexual predator. But there was a lady, and she kind of, and I was jogging behind her. But then she said that I should be jogging in a mask. And I was like, but a park, I just kind of went, oh, no, don't be silly, and carried on running. But I was kind of like, you're out in a park. If you feel that passionately that where you go everyone should be marked, then you surely choose places to go that's really isolated. Like this is a park in the middle of we're in a city. It's used by dog walkers, families, or rest of it. You can't really go into a public space like that where you don't have to wear a mask. It's not indoors.
Yeah, of course.
And then get annoyed that people like that's a bit crazy.
Yeah. Because I've got loads of issues with my nose. Like I've broken it like 7 times, and I had septal rhinoplasty.
Yeah, so that must be a bit of a nightmare for breathing.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not too bad with the masks because like once I had the surgery on it, like it does clear it up a bit. But it
no, but I meant with running. Do you kind of are you a bit of a heavy running? What I'm trying to say is, so would you like to go running with me, and we can just
we'll be panting together.
Just be so loud that I'll feel less subconscious. I genuinely, I was like, oh my God, people keep leaping out of the way. My music must be really loud. That's really bad. And then I turned my music down, and I realised, no, people are leaping out of the way because I sound like blooming Harvey Weinstein creeping up behind them. Yeah. It's like, no.
Yeah, so I breathe through my mouth a lot. So yeah, I get a similar thing.
You're a mouth breather.
I try and breathe from my nose where I can, but currently, for instance, my right nostril is a little bit more blocked, and my left nostril is the one that I can't breathe through quite as well. So it's not a comfortable breathing.
That's nice.
Sometimes it's fine, but a lot of the time, and especially sort of when I start going running, then obviously you get a bit phlegmy anyway after a bit of a run. And so
you can't, when we were gigging out in Dubai, that you have to wear masks the whole time in Dubai. So in Dubai,
really?
we were on full lockdown here, but in Dubai, so I went out to do some. I was booked for gigs out there.
Yeah.
And I was booked for gigs out there. I was working before anyone gets a little bit like, oh my God, these bastard. I felt horrible. I was in Dubai and they were like, look at these bastard influencers. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not an influencer.
Yeah, I was at
I mean,
that,
some would
at
say
that
I
time.
am.
Yeah.
But I'm gigging. I need the cash.
Yeah.
But you had to wear a mask all the time. So the moment you step out your front door, you're in a mask.
Really?
You're in a mask when you're walking around shopping malls, outside shops. If you want to exercise, you've got to wear a mask. The only time you can take a mask off is when you're sat down in a cafe, restaurant or cinema. So every time you move. And in a weird way, when I came home, I genuinely felt more freer here than there, because I was like wearing a mask full time over there. And especially with the heat, it just felt really like, whereas in here, you can put the mask on to pop into a shop.
Yeah.
And then when you're walking around outside, you've got that freedom. But I was like wearing a mask and exercising, and in that heat, it felt like the most oppressive.
Yeah, I bet
thing.
That's horrendous. Which
it was like running on a treadmill in a mask.
Oppressive in Dubai. What? Who'd have thought? So yeah, I had a full-time job like at the start of lockdown. I was on furlough for a while, and then I got made redundant, and then I started a temp job, and this was sort of around the time. It's like end of July. So most people sort of wearing masks when they go anywhere. Like I was wearing masks going shopping, but then at work, no one was wearing a mask, and it was like super hot. So I've not had to wear a mask in sort of particular heat yet, but also I was walking around that warehouse that I was working in, which was one of, no, I think it's safe to say that was the worst job I've ever had. But it was, no one's wearing a mask, and I was walking around just like, you people are all disgusting.
The judge.
Yeah.
You're a judger.
Yeah. But only because a lot of them were just sweaty, so.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing with the mask, though. I noticed that because I stop after a run to get a coffee. And I've got to say, I'm quite relieved to put a mask on and go inside and get a coffee, because at least it covers up. Yeah. My face is like beetroot and I'm dripping with sweat. And I'm like, this actually is quite a nice way of covering that up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he knows every time I go in, he's like, oh, running again. She's nice, isn't she?
Hopefully you're running. That may just be your standard sort of face.
Yeah, I just tell him that I'm not actually a runner.
Yeah.
I'm just literally really sweaty. I'm just a very sweaty woman.
You're running again? Yeah.
Yeah. Probably.
Sure. Have you taken up any sort of hobbies or anything during lockdown that you wouldn't normally have done? Like some people have got into running and stuff.
I know people started getting into baking. Well, I used to be a runner. So
okay.
It's kind of just had the chance to get back to running.
Yeah.
So did I take up any hobbies? No, I started doing puzzles.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
I know. I really got into puzzles. I was like, they're really... But that was when we were like in full-on lockdown. Yeah. So I could do a gig in the day, homeschool the kids, which was sheer hell. Yeah. And then of an evening, just kick back with a puzzle.
Yeah. What sort of puzzles were you doing? Like,
what do you mean, like size?
Like tough ones, yeah. Size. Were they like?
No, I kind of like your standard 500, 1000.
Yeah.
But they are very cathartic.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Or the very most frustrating thing you'll ever do.
Yeah. And the worst thing is when your kids are like, "Oh, can I help?" And you just feel really protective, and you're like, "Just stay away."
Yeah. My wife and I do like imposter puzzles and all that sort of thing.
Right.
So like it's just the ones where there's sort of like I think the one we're doing at the minute, and I say at the minute, we started it in, I would say, September, and then put it away and haven't gone back to it since. It's a Toy Story one where it's just all of the little green aliens, and there's like loads of those, and then a couple of bits at the side, and it's too hard. It's too much the same.
It's too much going on.
Yeah.
It's difficult when it's very samey.
Yeah. It's
hard to work out all the bits.
Because we also did 101 Dalmatians one, where there's like a big sort of Pongo and Predator in the middle, which is great, and then all the little ones around the outside. So it's good, like when you do the big ones, because you feel like you've achieved something. But then the little ones just make you want to throw throw your own shit at the wall.
Oh.
Out of frustration. That's not a phrase.
Makes you want to throw your own shit at a wall.
Yeah. Well, better than
so
throwing
firstly, you just need to wait to go for one, and then you pick it up off the floor, which isn't bad enough, and then throw it at a wall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Look, that's been weird. Yeah.
So angry, I'm going to throw my own feculence at my own wall.
Yeah.
I think you're the only loser in that battle.
Yes. Both a loser and a winner, and again a loser because I've got to clear it up after. So I'm losing on
it's not
two.
really fun.
No. Did you start any like sort of comedy-based projects that you wouldn't otherwise have done? Like, for instance, I wrote a sitcom.
Oh, nice. Did I start any comedy-based project? I mean, we all say like, oh yeah, I did loads of writing. I did try and get quite a lot of shit down on paper.
Yeah.
And sit and do writing, but I find that like my day was just really bitty, so it's really hard. Like everything's just like it's really hard just to get a block of time.
Yeah.
So lots of things. Yeah, tried to do lots of things, but no, nothing of substantial. Like, ta-da! This is the product of what I made.
So are you normally a sit down and write kind of person?
Yeah, I just like to block out time and go and do it.
Yeah, I don't really do that.
Yeah,
I probably should, but I just have ideas and then I'll write them down and then that's
probably the best way to go.
I'll probably spend about 4 days just thinking about it. Sorry, my cat's eating. I think it's okay. She often eats sponges and we can't let her do that because she just munches them down.
Do you have a lot of sponges downstairs?
Surprising amount of sponges, yeah. I don't know, like 4. It's too many sponges probably. We only have one out, but she gets into cupboards. She's an idiot, but she's quite smart. I've also got I've got a shower sponge, and she manages to get in the bathroom and rips that apart. So I have to buy those quite often.
Oh dear!
It's you got any pets?
No, just kids.
Just kids.
No, the only pets I've got.
Probably worse, I would imagine.
Well, I mean, I find it quite funny when people say that they get offended if someone compares having a dog to having children, because I've come to the conclusion after seeing people who have dogs that it probably is quite similar in terms of the amount of energy and attention. But no, don't have any pets.
Because I don't like dogs particularly. I mean, they're fine, like they're okay. I just realised that people will probably attack me for that, but dogs are fine. I wouldn't want one. I've got a cat and I like that. She's all right. She she goes in a box and she does a poo there, whereas dogs just sort of shit on the floor and then you've got to pick that up with your own hand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, use a bag.
That makes me
obviously.
feel a bit sick.
Yeah. There's a surprising sort of pleasure if you because I looked after my sister's dog a couple of times, like dog sitting, and if you're ever walking a dog on a cold day and it does do a shit, it's as long as your hand's on the other side of the bag and you don't sort of split it, it's quite warm. Get a bit of warmth from it. It's like a little hand warmer.
Well, that's one selling point for having a dog, isn't it?
Yeah, warm your hands up on its turds.
I wouldn't mind having a dog, but I think I'll definitely save it for when I've got the time and effort. I think if you're going to have a dog, you do have to give it as much time and effort as you would something else that needs a lot of care.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't take that quite lightly. I think cats are probably easier, aren't they?
Yeah. They're also, well, are they more destructive? I don't know. I think dogs can be quite destructive. Depends what kind of dog.
How many sponges you've got.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you seem quite a sponge-scented man.
I'm mostly sponge. Yeah, my house is... Yeah, this looks like a sofa that I'm sitting on. It's actually a big sponge.
You actually live on a fairground.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, it's loads of sponges. What was that? Dogs. How old are your kids? That sounds weird. Sorry, that was really aggressive. How old are your children?
I know, you said it as if you don't believe I've got any. They're 5 and 7. I mean, to be fair, I can never remember. They're 5 and 7.
Yeah. Like, I suppose when your kids are slightly older, if anything, you could distract your kids with a dog. Like, get a dog and it's nice. You can look after it when you need to, but the rest of the time, just get the kids to chase it.
Yeah, I think I think it's quite good for kids to have pets and stuff because it teaches them responsibility.
Yeah.
But what tends to happen in 99.99999% of households is anything that's introduced into the household that needs any kind of responsibility just ends up being mum's responsibility.
Yeah, it's just an extra responsibility for you, yeah.
I can't commit to having a dog. So as much as my kids are like, we'll do everything, yeah, it's just a ball-faced lie.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened with the hamster. We had a hamster.
Yeah.
And it just ended up me and the hamster.
Yeah.
So, who actually had a heart attack and died during Boris Johnson's speech where he was cancelling Christmas. And the kids just went, oh, look, the hamster's doing a little dance. And we were like, yeah.
Oh, no.
But he was actually suffering heart failure.
Yeah. How old was he?
I've got no idea because he was rescued from a film set.
Oh.
Hello.
What?
Yeah.
Interesting. What was it a film set?
He was used for a film, for an indie film. And so a friend of mine was like, we've got this hamster that we needed to use for a film. Not like a weird film.
Yeah. I was going to say, was Richard Gere in the film? Was it Richard Gere?
Yeah, it was Richard Gere.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that rumour because I don't know how you'd physically put a hamster up your arse.
Have you ever seen the South Park episode where they do it?
Well, I wouldn't take South Park as a kind of empirical evidence.
They do often sort of shine lights on weird behaviours.
On how it happened.
Yeah. And
so what
going by
in
that,
the South Park?
and I've heard rumours before I saw that as well, that they use a tube.
Oh, but I mean, what's the sensation? It must really hurt.
I would think so. It's going to want to burrow out, surely.
Yeah, I don't know if I...
It sounds like the worst thing in the world.
I don't know if I 100% believe that happened.
Yeah. Oh dear. No. Smaller than a hamster, I would say. Mouse? Put a mouse up there?
Well, you can get quite small hamsters, can't you?
Yeah. I had a Russian dwarf hamster that was...
yeah.
It was quite cute.
They're quite small.
And then he turned into a bit of a dick. And and then my mum looked after him. So...
Oh.
Yeah, so that is very much a thing that happens. So you are right, but everything does just become the mum's responsibility.
Yeah. See, even when becomes mum.
The best I ever did when I still lived at home was I looked after my fish. I did quite well with fish, and I had to sort of clean the tank out quite often and get new fish and do stuff to it. But then it did get to a point where it's more of a burden than a joy.
Yeah, fish aren't they're not like a particularly joyful animal.
No.
There's not a huge amount that you can get from a fish.
No, it's quite enjoyable.
Like these with cats and dogs, like you can kind of have a bit of a cuddle.
Yeah.
You know, they're quite relaxing, the purring, it's all very kind of like, they're quite snuggly, but you couldn't really snuggle with a fish.
You couldn't snuggle a fish. No, not for long.
Not for long. No. It's not a lot of communication, not much eye contact, because obviously the eyes are...
Yeah, either side of the face. Yeah, it's not it's not conducive to a cuddling pet. It's like I never quite get people that I quite like snakes. I'd never have one, I don't think, but I know a lot of people that have snakes, and they're genuinely quite nice to sort of play with. Have you ever held a snake?
No, I don't think I have.
No, because you can feel like all of the muscles for its body sort of moving and contracting, and they're not at all slimy. That's very much a lie.
A myth.
Yeah, and. But they
propaganda. Anti-snake propaganda.
Yeah, that's it. But they're very smooth, and you can feel all the muscles sort of moving around on your arm or sort of wherever they're going, and it's fascinating. It feels amazing. So yeah, I can understand getting a snake. I can't really understand getting lizards and that sort of thing, other than showing off.
I guess if you're really into the animal, my daughter wants a tarantula.
No, thank you.
She's really into tarantulas.
Yeah. Do you? How do you feel about spiders?
I'm somebody who's very respectful of them. It's like, I'm not going to kill them, but I'm not going to hold them. So just, you stick to your area of the world and I'll stick to mine, but I've got no interest. We did go on a spider walk because that's what she wanted to do. And it was at London Zoo. And it's basically all the spiders are out. They're not in cages, but they're all kind of like big, different types of like non-poisonous spider, but they're all in like webs and trees and most of it, and you walk through, and she was just like, oh my god, wow, look, I'm just taking all these photos. And me and my other half were like, oh god, and my husband was just like, I'm only doing this because I love her. I just can't, I'll do it because I love her, but I just really don't want to do it. And the whole way home, even on the tube, he was just like, I can still feel them. They're everywhere, they're all over me.
Did you have any on you?
No, we didn't hold them or anything,
but you could still feel them.
No. He was convinced that they were on him for a good week.
That's the thing.
He's traumatized.
Like, even if you know a spider is in the room, sometimes you can feel it on you, even if it's not nowhere near, you know.
Yeah, it's that thing that's really like, yeah.
Yeah. But like 90% of the time, they will do nothing. I was at my sister's house, sitting in a garden with around a chimney the other
Very
week,
nice.
and she, during lockdown, her husband, my brother-in-law, that's how that works. He built like a gin terrace. It's what they call it. It's like a massive like veranda type thing. It's huge, and it's just like sort of at the end of their garden. I was sitting on that, and a massive false widow landed on my shoulder, and it's like crawling around. And apparently it crawled up my entire side. But my sister, who's petrified of spiders, had seen it crawl all the way up my side onto my shoulder, and just sort of stared because she couldn't bring herself to say anything. She's so scared. She's just watching it going. And eventually, like, I went to say something. She went, "There's a spider on your shoulder," and I was like, and it's huge. It was like, I think it was pregnant because it was massive. And I don't mind spiders. That's the thing, and I'm happy to catch them. I'll never kill one. I'll never squash one on purpose.
No, I feel that's cruel.
No, but when it's a false widow, which will bite you, and like it's like they say, it's like a bee sting. So, and I can deal with that. That's fine. But I'd still prefer not to have it happen.
Yeah,
and I did freak out a little bit.
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah, false widows
waving.
have they've kind of made a bit of a comeback.
Yeah, they've created somewhat of an impression of themselves.
They have. And, we never used to have them, and now they're everywhere.
Yeah, but
it's like COVID.
My parents, yeah, exactly. They are the COVID of the arachnid world.
Maybe they're responsible for COVID.
Maybe. Has anyone looked into that? I don't know. We should.
No, I'll definitely stop putting that out there.
Yeah, I am going to create a fake profile and put that on Twitter. See if anyone responds. Just because.
See if anyone gets involved in it. I'm sure on Twitter they're all really respectful and really polite. No one would.
I think they are. Yeah, but I don't want to. I don't want to claim that discovery under my own name. I don't need that kind of publicity. So that's what I'll create.
Fair
a false
enough.
Profile. I'll be called Mesther Anito.
Yeah, that one.
No.
Totally fine.
Yeah. And I'll use your picture but draw a moustache on it, if that's all right.
Wouldn't look any different. I'm a very hairy woman.
Are you? That's,
yeah.
Cool. Good for you. Have you do you do any sort of podcast or anything?
Yeah, I do 2 podcasts. I do my own podcast, which is called No Nation, and then I do a podcast with Lily Phillips called Ghastly Women.
Oh, cool. What are they about?
So No Nation, the first series was No Nation, and the second series is No Class. That's basically looking at what it means to be stuck between 2 cultural identities, and then No Class is what classism means, like what class do we consider ourselves to be. So it's all kind of more like conversational based chit chat. Whereas in Ghastly Women is me and Lily Phillips. We discuss 2 women who've done really awful things and see who is the ghastly woman each week.
Right, so different ghastly women, or is it like 2 women that you know and that you just think they're quite ghastly and see which one's done the worst
they're
things?
not. It's not. We basically 2 famous women for doing something bad.
Okay,
and then we debate them.
Oh, cool.
And then see who is each week's winner of being a ghastly woman.
Who's your favourite ghastly woman?
So far, we've done Gwyneth Paltrow. I got very angry about Gwyneth Paltrow, and I didn't even know I had an opinion on her, which is mental. I've never had an opinion on her, but we each week we decide who we're going to do, and I was a bit stuck for ideas, so I looked up women who have been maybe mean to other people, or and Gwyneth's name came out quite a lot, so I started researching into her, and I was like, oh my god, this woman is a nightmare.
Oh, really?
So she was a lot of fun. What but then that's like a celebrity woman, but then we also do like female serial killers and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So it might be you're ghastly because you're an annoying twat.
Yeah.
Or it might be you're ghastly because you've murdered someone.
Yeah, both different. Some more socially acceptable than others.
Some more socially acceptable than others, but it just showing the other light of the gentler sex.
Yeah.
That we can be Ghastly 2.
Yeah. The thing is,
Quite fun.
if someone were to start a series called Ghastly Men, where would you start? It's tough, isn't it?
Be a lot.
Yeah.
Be a lot of work, wouldn't it?
It's, I mean, that's to be fair, that the whole concept is not entirely dissimilar to Russell Kane's podcast.
Evil Genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, with Evil Genius, it's taking somebody who's known for being quite good.
Yes.
And then discussing whether they're evil genius. Whereas in the women we discuss tend to be known for being ghastly, but we're just battling out for who is the worst woman out of the two that we've picked.
Do you try and find positive aspects about them as well?
Well, we did try it where we'd have like one woman and one would argue pro and one would argue against, but it didn't really work. So now we just choose two people.
Yeah, because how would you argue pro against Myra Hindley, for instance?
Yeah, it's like, it's really hard to be pro.
Yeah. It's a very one-sided conversation.
Yeah.
And the other person saying...
I mean, it's a bit worrying if you are pro.
Yeah, you're right, Yeah, nice. Oh, that sounds good. Did you start either of those during the lockdown? Or?
Yeah, we did actually. Yeah. No Nation was before lockdown, but Ghastly Women started towards the later part of lockdown, yeah.
Yeah. And if I had to guess, no class would be having no class identity, presumably, or like sort of
yeah, it's just like talking about what class identity do you have and what does it mean, and and the fact that classism seems to be something which is not really talked about as much as other
it's not
identity politics.
It's an odd thing.
Yeah
because even when it is talked about, it's still not considered when when sort of decisions are being made,
and it's not. When classist language and stuff is used, it doesn't get as much attention.
Yeah.
As when, say, like sexist language is used. So it's an interesting one.
Yeah. There's certainly not the uproar of of someone saying something sort of really poncy and people just like, oh, he's a
there's
bit of
definitely
a
kind of elitism.
He's an awful person. Yeah. Let's start that movement. I think it is starting to go that way a little bit. It's getting discussed more, which is good, but there's still not a lot being done about it, really.
No, but I think things will change. But I think it's just a question of like bringing it up for discussion and having that conversation.
But again, it's one of those things. It's slow going because the people who have the ability to change things are the people that it'd be detrimental to help the other side.
Yeah.
Which is why we're in the situation we're in the country. I don't talk about politics, but that is a pretty succinct comparison of I think everyone knows that though. That's not news.
No, it's kind of like we all know where we stand.
Shock horror as people in power do things to help themselves. No one's surprised anymore, are they? Like
no one. No, that's never happened before.
Yeah. Like I saw a thing yesterday saying that Boris Johnson's been investigated over a trip to the Bahamas or something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, he's done loads of bits and pieces, and
he's
just
hidden
kind of
a fridge.
As normal.
This is the most ridiculous.
Well, his dad went during over Christmas. His dad went to Greece, didn't he?
Oh really?
Or somewhere like that.
Yeah,
somewhere in the Mediterranean, whilst everyone was being told that they can't pop round and see their parents on Christmas.
Yeah. Can't go see your parents, but you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do what I want because I've got loads of money, but you can't.
Yeah. And this is, people wonder why sort of the working class have a chip on their shoulder. But then keep voting them in. That's it's good. This so what's it like sort of politically where you are? I don't know, I'm talking too much about politics, but like obviously Essex is often quite a sort of a conservative area, and around here certainly is. Out of the eight boroughs,
it went to Labour.
Did it?
It was definitely becoming more Labour, and then it's gone back. Yeah, I think it's gone back Tory now. Yeah,
with the anti-Labour leader.
Yeah. I mean, I think people kind of feel the most comfortable with Tory because at least they know what they are.
Yeah. It's we know they'll lie to us, but at least
Better the devil you know, I guess.
Yeah, that is a lot of people's argument.
Did you see that video of Keir Starmer in a boxing club?
No.
He's in a boxing club, but he's got like these boxing gloves with Vote Labour on them.
Right.
And the caption is, "Are you sure working class people like boxing?" And he's just in this boxing club with this like boxing trainer going, So if you just hit the bag, and he's literally just like going, and it's the most uncharismatic PR stunt I have ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like
for the listeners,
who thought this was a good idea?
Esther just mimed someone that was
very slowly
punching, as though posing for a photo and not entirely aware that it's a photo.
It's a video.
So what sort of gigs have you got lined up? Anything exciting?
So on Monday, I'm opening for Russell Kane.
Oh, lovely.
In central London, so that'll be nice. And then next weekend, I'll be up in Sheffield.
Oh, okay.
At the ROFL Comedy Club.
Oh, lovely.
What it stands for? Yeah, well, Ruffle.
Yeah.
Comedy Club. And then after that, what's after that? Yeah, and then then I'm just dithering about, and then I'm doing my show over the summer. So I'll start in July, and then I'll take it about the place.
Are you on tour?
I mean, it's not really a tour because I don't know. It's just literally taking it around the festivals and booking smaller venues for it and stuff. So yeah.
That's sort of a tour. Is it?
I reckon.
Yeah.
I'll call it a tour, a mini tour.
Yeah. How many dates have you got?
About 8.
That's a tour.
Yeah, all right then. Going on tour.
Yeah. That's lasting more than a week, right? You're not doing like more than one in a day?
No, I'm not doing more than one in a day.
That's a tour. Absolutely.
Yeah, all right then.
Yeah. Yeah. I know people that have done like 3 dates and they've called that a tour.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll call mine a tour then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very much a tour.
I'm going to call it a minor tour.
Nice. Yeah. The Esther Manito minor tour.
Esther Minotaur. This is Esther's Minotaur.
Yeah.
It's not mythical. It's real. It's happening. This shit is here. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, good. Nice. What's the show?
It's called #NotAllMen.
Oh, okay.
So it hasn't had a huge amount of geezers turning up going, finally, a woman who just gets it's a joke. Yeah. But it's just about, it's just a reaction to the hashtag. And it doesn't talk about like Me Too and stuff, but it's just about growing up in the 90s and about how much, things have changed and the kind of lad culture we grew up with in the 90s. And it's more kind of just looking back and, remembering what it was like being a teenager during the 90s and the things that we were enduring as young girls and young boys and what impact that had on us. And so it's kind of like a reflection on where this kind of, sexist attitude comes from.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's fun. It is fun. Yeah. It sounds reminiscent. It's like the vagina monologues. No, but it's fun. And it's quite biographical as well. So it's quite fun.
Yeah.
Just telling those kind of stories. Yeah.
Yeah, I've touched on that sort of thing in the past a bit because like I'm not a tall man. I'm 5'8", which is like it's fine, it's a moderate height. I'm taller than a lot of people I work with. I'm shorter than quite a few people I work with, and like my best mate when I was in my sort of formative years was 6'4". So everyone always looked at me and was like, "Oh, he's little." I'm not little. I'm just sort of I'm just not tall.
Yeah.
But like, and I was always skinny when I was younger as well, and there'd always be a thing of unless you're tall and or fat, like you're not manly enough. That is always the thing. And so I've written a bit of material about that, but probably not enough. I should explore that more because it's I think it's it's quite a good thing to talk about, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's a funny old world. I don't know why. I think I'm tired. I've been awake for.
You've been awake way too long.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't do maths. That's where my brain's at. 9 hours. That's not long. It's not that long. It doesn't sound that long until you know that it's only 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it does become slightly longer than it sounds. Yeah. I just for the sake of listeners, just in case anyone's wondering what I'm drinking, which normally people don't care, but I'm having a friend of mine bought me a load of Whittard's tea for Christmas.
Oh, nice!
And this one is mango and bergamot, and I was quite concerned that it was going to be horrendous because bergamot is what is in Earl Grey, and I'm not a big fan of Earl Grey, but it's delicious.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's really nice. It's sort of you do get that sort of the floral nature of the bergamot, but the mango, I find it leaves quite a sort of a sour sort of bitter taste at the end.
Oh yeah, I quite like that.
Dear, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not for me. But this sort of rounds it off a bit. The mango, and it's not too mangoey. It's quite it tastes a little bit like dried mango,
Oh, I love dried mango.
but with like a sort of a bergamot flavouring to it. I would recommend that.
Oh.
Yeah. So there you go.
To,
Just in case anyone was
to
wondering.
the shop.
Yeah, go and get some
Get
of that.
myself some Wittard tea.
Yeah, it is good. So, what would do you drink much tea?
No, I'm a coffee drinker mainly. So I
Okay.
drink about 3 cups of coffee in the day, and then I tend to have my verbena tea before bed.
Oh yeah. So that's your sort of your more regular tea if you're drinking tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not like a cup of tea person. I don't have like a Milky Builder's tea.
No.
It tends to make me feel a bit sicky.
Yeah. Is that the milk, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Have you ever considered trying alternative? It's not. I don't call them alternative milks on here. I call them pressed plant juices because it's not milk, is it?
No. Well, I do. I have oat milk, but that doesn't tend to sit so well in tea. So it goes quite well with coffee, but
it's okay.
I'm not a massive fan of it in tea.
Yeah. Fair enough. So you probably don't dunk a biscuit in a tea.
No, not really.
No, well, that ends that question there.
Controversial.
Good. No, it's short. It's succinct. I like that.
Oh, is that what tea would you dunk? What biscuit would you dunk?
Yeah, it's what's your favourite tea, followed by what's your favourite biscuit for dunking? But
I mean, I've got probably a chocolate bourbon.
yeah, if you're gonna do it, yeah.
If I'm gonna do it, gotta go big time.
Go classic. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a very good one. I feel like you're slightly younger than me, possibly.
How old are you?
35.
And you think I'm younger than you?
Are you not?
Aww.
Ah.
No.
Oh, good work. I mean, I look quite young as well for my age. So I'll probably.
I love the fact you thought I was younger than you. No, I'm 38.
Okay, so there's not a lot in it.
Although I have spent the last year saying I'm 37 because I totally forgot this year.
Yeah, I've spent the last, I would say, 3 months telling people I'm 36, and I'm not. I'm 36 this year. I think it's 2021, right? I've got the yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm a bit confused because no, I think I'm 38. Yeah.
Yeah. What year were you born?
1982. So yeah, I'm 38.
Yeah. So 39 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to bring that up.
We've really dissected
Yeah.
it.
Now, obviously, you don't drink much tea anyway, but I suppose it can be transferred to hot drinks because I think it's sort of around this age, like people start sort of changing their behaviours, don't they? And
yeah.
Do you drink a hot drink to cool you down in hot weather? Are you of that school of thought where it regulates your body temperature?
No. I mean, I drink coffee regardless.
Yeah.
Every morning. Do I drink hot? No. No, I wouldn't do that. I'd drink a cold drink.
Yeah, that is wise. That's exactly what I do. Because people swear by it. They say, oh, it regulates your body temperature and makes you think, no, nonsense.
I know.
Yeah, someone else once pointed out that drinking a hot drink in hot weather will make you sweat and, by its design, sweat will cool you down. So if anything, maybe that's what people are thinking, but I think it's nonsense.
Yeah?
Yeah. Good. I've not asked that in a while, and I think it's quite a good question to ask, really. Who would be your perfect radio double act partner? If you're going to have a radio show with, I mean, it could be anyone, but if it's a comedian, but it could be your child.
Radio double act partner. And
it doesn't even have to be someone that you know. It could just be someone that you think would be fun to do a show with.
Someone fun to do a show with. I reckon maybe, I'm just trying to think. God, that's radio show partner. Why am I struggling so hard to think of someone? Shappy Cool Sandy, probably.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Shappy?
I do. And
Cool.
I think it should be quite fun to do a radio show with.
Yeah, I bet she would. Yeah, I'd listen to that. So,
oh, thanks.
Have a word.
I will. I'll have a word.
Yeah.
Get that sorted.
Yeah. And I will, I'll take a cut. So, yeah. Well, maybe I'll start a radio network. No, probably not. I don't have the money. Right now, there's a question that I asked the other day that sort of formed into a slightly different question. Because are you familiar with the Cadbury's advert where a child buys a bar of chocolate for its parent with like a button and some sort of string and that sort of thing?
No.
No. So there's an advert by Cadbury's. A child goes
Mm.
into a shop and says like, "I want to buy a chocolate bar for my mum," and puts like a button and some string and a pipe cleaner and sort of crud on the counter, and the shopkeeper sort of looks lovingly, looks down, sort of looks out at the parent, and then just passes the chocolate over to the child, and then the child goes out, gives it to the parent, and the parent's like, "Oh, thank you very much." Now, I've got several issues with that advert because number one, that parent is just looking around. They're not aware that that child's in the shop, or they are aware that that child's in the shop and they know full well that that child's gone in without any money, and haven't questioned the fact that they've now come out with chocolate. So there's two questions there. Are they aware that that child has just stolen some chocolate, or because I think they might be running a scam is the thing, and they've said to the child, "Here's some old go in there, get some stuff from the shopkeeper. He looks nice," and then they're just going around and scamming all the shopkeepers.
Yeah, it's a scam.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a scam.
And as such, that advert makes me scream at the TV. What adverts make you scream at the TV?
Well,
It's quite a roundabout way to get to that question.
what adverts make me scream? I don't know if I see many adverts.
Do you not? Do you watch much TV?
I was thinking, I'm not a huge TV watcher.
Yeah.
I'll watch stuff like online. I'll stream a lot of stuff, so you don't often get a lot of adverts. But I'm trying to think. Oh, the HelloFresh adverts probably do my head in.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, just because it's this kind of fake family setup of Johnny won't eat his beans. So that kind of anything which is kind of like trying to be relatable.
Yeah.
But again, we all know, but it's just like it's all a bit awkward. No, they probably do my head in.
Yeah. That's fair. I will say about HelloFresh now, they don't sponsor me, so I'm not going to say that much about them, but I have started using them and they are quite good.
Are they?
Yeah, they really are.
I was wondering about them. Is it worth doing?
I think so. Yeah, we only do it once every couple of weeks because otherwise it starts getting a bit expensive. But yeah, it just sort of introduces you to new foods, and I always said that I couldn't really cook. Like I could cook some stuff, like I'll just do oven meals and that sort of thing. But because of that, I'm actually sort of becoming quite confident in the kitchen now. So it's life changing.
Okay. But all right, I'll give it a go.
The foods that you produce are quite tasty, but I'm going to stop talking about it there because I think that HelloFresh should sponsor me and I'll sing their praises quite happily.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Right, you probably need to go. So I will ask one more question. And this is another one I've been asking recently. It's just a bit weird. I had a dream a couple of weeks ago that caused me to wake up in the middle of the night and Google what is the coldest that Julie Walters has ever been.
The coldest?
Yeah, because I think in my dream she was... Now, there's an old Batman film. I'm pretty sure this is where it came from. There's an old Batman film where Batman was fighting a shark from a helicopter, and but above the sea. And in my head, I think I'd mixed that with something about Julie Walters, and Julie Walters had fallen in the sea and got really cold. And I woke up concerned about her, thinking, what's the coldest she's ever been? So I Googled it, and I didn't have an answer. But have you ever had any weird questions as the result of a dream?
Well, I get a recurring dream.
Oh, okay.
And I've had it for years, and it's about being in a house that has another bit of the house attached, which is secret.
Oh.
But I have it all the time. And then I was trying to describe it to friends of mine, and one of my friends, she was like, oh my God, I've had that dream. So I've looked it up, and I think it is just a kind of when something is niggling rather than stressing you out. It's not like a stress dream, but it's something that's niggling. So it's always like you're in the house and then there's like a little door from the kitchen, and when you open that, there's like a whole other bit of the house down there, like huge living room, landscape gardens, and that's all attached, but it's kind of quite dusty and not well looked after.
Yeah.
And you're like, why don't we ever I always have the same thing. I'm like, why do we never use this part of the house? Like, why is that that's always just there?
We really need to utilize it.
It makes the house huge, but we should never use it.
Yeah. Interesting. Have you ever seen the film Us?
Seen what?
The film Us.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the one where there's like the second versions of
The upstairs
themselves.
and the downstairs people. Yeah.
Because doesn't she have like dreams in that where she's sort of imagining being downstairs
I can't remember.
in that other world? I think it might be.
Maybe
That's what it is. Maybe you're
maybe that's where it stemmed
the
from.
evil version of yourself.
The evil version of myself, or the nice version.
Yeah, you could be, but I mean, I don't want to give any spoilers to the film, but maybe the evil one was the good one all along.
The nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's that. Maybe there's another version of you called Mesther Anito, and they're asking questions on Twitter about false widow spiders. Probably not, but you never know.
Wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah, that wily minx. And that is a weird phrase that I think is a good place to end the podcast. Yeah. So have you got anything you want to plug?
Well, just give me a follow on Instagram, and then everything's on there.
Yeah.
Esther Manito on Instagram.
Cool. Just at Esther Manito, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
At Esther Manito on Instagram.
Yeah. Are you on Twitter and that sort of?
I am, yeah. Same at Esther Manito.
The cesspit that is
that is Twitter.
Soon to be filled with conversations about false widows starting COVID.
Soon to be filled with it, riddled with it.
Yeah. It's going to be everywhere. Cool. Anything else? Got a website?
Yeah, esthermanito.com.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah. Cool. On everything.
And your podcasts, and check out your tour. Is there anywhere in particular that you're presumably you can find the dates on your website?
Yeah.
Yeah, so go there.
My dates, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, all of that's on there.
Yeah, lovely. All right, cool. Well, thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks, Si.
It's been a lovely chat.
Yeah, it has been a lovely chat.
Yes.
And thank you for the tea.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. Enjoy the other ones as well. And if there's,
I will do.
Yeah, I think I sent you some from a company that I've not drunk any of yet. They sent me some new ones recently, so I need to start telling people to drink those instead. But I sent you some good and proper tea once, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they've just started sending me tea to try on a podcast. So yeah, give them a follow. They're an independent company that started sort of. Woman started selling their stuff from like a tea van.
Oh right, okay, all right. I'll give it a go. I'll give them a follow.
Yeah, it's a really good story. So yeah,
cool.
Look into those guys. They're great stuff. Anyway, have a lovely rest of your day.
Thank you, and you. Take care.
I will. Yes, you too. Lovely to meet you.
See you later. And you. See you later. Take care.
See you later. So that was Esther Manito. Don't forget you can follow her online. She's at Esther Manito on the social medias, and her website is esthermanito.com. Simple. And don't forget, as ever, if you are enjoying the podcast and are able to show support and you want to, then please go over to my Ko-fi page, which is ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com/Deaves, and show you support for the podcast. Basically, it's expensive running this stuff. I need to keep buying new equipment, and I need to pay for the sort of the hosting and all that sort of thing. So any donations you can offer would be greatly appreciated, because you're helping me keep it running in a time when very few creative people are earning the money that they need. So many thanks to those of you who have donated already. You are greatly appreciated. I love you. Thank you very much. If you can't donate, absolutely fine. You don't have to. This content is here for you to listen to for free. But if you're enjoying it, tell your friends. Spread the love. Share the posts and pick up your friend's phone and hit subscribe on their podcast apps, or go on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever. Hit subscribe on their phones for you, and do them a favour. And then go on to Apple Podcasts, drop us a 5-star review, because that always makes me feel lovely and warm inside. If you didn't like it, don't do that. Well, give it a 5-star review, and then subscribe your enemies' phones to my podcast. If you don't like it, then I'm not entirely sure why you've got this far in the podcast. But fair play. I think I'm going to be doing a work in progress show of the show that I'm working on. I briefly mentioned it last time, but I've spoken to a few people looking at booking in some dates. So keep an eye on www.sideeves.com and keep an eye on the dates that are coming out. But nevertheless, it's a new website, so go and have a look anyway. Go and see what I've done with it. It's quite lovely. And I'm finally talking to the graphic designer. We're sorting out the merch. It's happening. It's gonna be a couple of weeks yet, at least. probably longer because we're both busy people, but that will be out as soon as possible. I think I'm going to concentrate on mugs first and maybe a couple of other bits, and then we'll see where the interest lies with other stuff. So until the next time, thanks very much for listening. Be kind to each other. Drink nice tea. I love you. Goodbye.